know when we're thirsty, we just have to force our body to drink so much water, and that's just the way it is. But he evaluated tremendous amounts of data, and he looked at studies that weren't funded by companies like Gatorade, for example. And he found that even runners, long-distance runners, when they drink too much water, when they're not thirsty, they get into trouble. I think a really good principle would be to drink when you're thirsty and don't ever drink too much, okay? Because you can start to dilute these electrolytes. Now, on the flip side, if you're prone to a kidney stone, you need to be drinking at least 2.5 liters of fluid every single day. But I would also add electrolytes to that. Now, are there any tests that you can do to see if you're drinking too much water? Sometimes people say, well, check your color of your urine, and it should be clear. But I think there's a better test. In fact, it's pretty inexpensive. You could buy on Amazon or another platform these little urine strips that measure something called specific gravity, and that will give you a good rough estimate on whether you're slightly dehydrated, or you're really dehydrated, or you've drinking too much water. Because on this urine strip that you're going to get, you're going to measure a lot of different things, but specific gravity measures and compares the density, how concentrated your urine is, to actual water. Now, water has a specific gravity or density of 1. And urine, if it's normal, should have a density of 1.002 to 1.030. So if your urine specific gravity is low, okay, and what I mean by low is if it's less than 1.010,
Ладно, полетел.
More than 30,000 NATO troops will begin military drills in Norway today as part of a long-planned exercise. NATO's so-called cold response drills are held every 2 years and bring together troops from over 25 countries. The exercises last for 2 months and test their ability to operate in cold weather environments. The drills come at a heightened time of tension for NATO members as Russia broadens its offensive in Ukraine. And Klaus Wittmann is a historian and former German Army general. Let's bring him in now. Klaus, thank you very much for joining us. These drills are, of course, routine, but they are more significant. Are they more significant now in the light of this war?
Well, one has to know that this is a long-planned and regular exercise which Norway hosts biannually. So it was announced already over 8 months ago, and it has nothing to do with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But of course, since NATO is responding to the invasion with preventive, proportionate, and non-escalatory measures to make clear that every inch of NATO territory will be defended, of course, it has a higher profile now and higher importance that NATO nations and military forces make themselves ready. And this is, of course, about practicing skills operating in extreme and rugged surroundings.
We're hearing
25 countries of NATO.
Sorry to interrupt you there. We're hearing that 5,000 fewer troops than expected are signed up for the exercise. Why is that?
I am not aware of that. The planning is 30,000 troops from over 25 countries from Europe and North America within NATO. And if there are 5,000 less, then that has perhaps